In this video, we are going to take a travel perspective look on the Legion Pro 7i after using it for a month, and it just so happens to coincide with a bunch of traveling that I've done throughout the US country and also abroad. So I've been using the Air Travel Pack 3, which has lots of different pockets, kind of different view from some of the stuff I bought on Amazon, bringing Theragun, wanting to keep my PT in check, and using this back pocket to store the laptop and the power supply, which is kind of big and kind of heavy. So I've made travel reviews before on the MacBook Pro and also on this device prior, but this particular device, Travel Pack 3 $249, does not come with the hip pack, so keep that in mind. And then if you don't want to splurge out on that, I have also used this day bag from Amazon, which is about $20 that anyone can pick up. It's been nice. So in terms of the actual road trip, if anyone's interested, I started in Denver and then made my way in this loop, following the yellow lines first, all the way from Grand Junction, driving down to Montrose, doing a couple days at the Airbnb stay there, and then driving through Durango. Now, talking about Montrose, or at least my use case for traveling and using tech, is I typically stay at an Airbnb and I typically just am plugged in. So for anyone wondering, from a travel perspective, the only thing I really have insight to provide is how it's been, at least from this road trip perspective. I haven't really needed to move it around so much. Now, here in Europe, I have needed it because I've been catching trains and maybe working from hotel lobbies. So from this perspective, just something to consider if you're doing traveling within the US. The most you'll ever kind of notice a laptop, and if you're always plugged in, is when you're traveling on the airport. And assuming you're using like a car to get places, you won't really notice the weight of this laptop. So keep that in mind. So this is a true 1 month review. I bought this in June 9 when I started the Denver road trip, and then here 1 month later across the pond in Germany. So currently using this device. This is recorded on OBS with iOS camera, and just talking a bit more about the trip and how the past month has gone. So typically in the road trip, like I said, not really using the device. All I needed is to plug in. And even when I was later I traveled to Austin, didn't really even need to be off battery. We had an Airbnb that was full of like 6 people, all working remote, but everyone just needs a desk. So I haven't really, if I take it off battery, I do have some of that performance issues, but just running Teams meetings has been fine. Teams and WebEx. I think there's a tweak you need to do, which is setting it to the Vantage mode. So that's something to keep in mind, which I talked about in my last video. But from a US travel perspective, again, my use case of just 100% being plugged in, you may not need to worry too much about, if you don't need to worry about battery life and degradation of performance. This is a powerful machine to make, like, edit photos, make content, do some gaming, all while on the go. And then you could enjoy the actual travels, such as some of those videos I posted, without having to worry about your laptop being too big. But talking about Germany and Europe travels with the train, that is where you have to consider some weight. So I'm still able to make this content, but again, packing light and fitting in the bag, the around 6 pounds of this laptop has not been too much of an issue. One thing I did want to mention is that in this particular case, this Airbnb does not have AC, so I'm working outside. My wife's actually working inside, have a couple free time to make some content. So I just did want to show some of that footage I took from the outside, which showcases the brightness. So people might want to work in a coffee shop, or be working outside but has a plug. Again, I'm literally plugged in, but working outside from the balcony. And on camera it looks kind of dark to see, but with the brightness 100% up, I am able to kind of get work done. So that's up for you to decide how bright you really want to have your device, but it seems fine to me. So that's just some of that footage, B-roll footage that you're seeing if you were trying to use this device in a bright setting. So in case you're wondering why I'm using this microphone, I think it's way better than what you would get in the internal. So this is the settings tested on the internal, and let's go ahead and change it. So here is the outside, and you can hear that background noise. So that's the setting there with the background noise there. And then with the camera, So it's actually with NVIDIA broadcast, and you could turn the blur in to get kind of a better, if you wanted super blur, but if you wanted like a better bokeh one or a bokeh effect, you could enable NVIDIA broadcast and kind of get still a sharper or cooler image when you may need it on WebEx or whatnot. So I wanted to play this B-roll one more time. This is recorded with the iPhone, so this is kind of the outside air and the outside wind blowing that iPhone would pick up. And what you're listening to right now is the plugged-in Apple headphones. So I just wanted to wrap up this video to let you know that you have options on what you want to do in terms of using this device. If you didn't like the internal camera, most people have iPhones and you could use that camera. And I got people in the background here, but this mic in particular, or any wired mic, is probably going to be better than the internal mic, because you can actually turn the gains down and speak directly into the mic, which should help reduce background noise, though I kind of have it up all the way right now, so you're probably going to hear some of that. And then in terms of the actual device, again, outside of battery mode lasting 2 hours and having some of that choppiness settings, I think you'll be good off or well off if you are usually plugged in to use the device from that perspective. And then in terms of like the raw performance, 4080, it's going to be just as good as the M2 Max or any of those devices. But if you kind of want an all-around machine and you do work more remote, I would recommend getting a MacBook, but then you sacrifice gaming, so it depends on what you want to do. That is something to consider in terms of what you're paying for this device. And I got this at Micro Center for $2,000, and then I could use the iOS camera to record and make content, and then obviously I'm trying to make more travel-ish type content instead of tech content, primarily on my primary channel, which really has no views or subs, but maybe you guys can check it out. And yeah, that's what I wanted to wrap up this view on. So if you're looking for the best bang for your buck, you can pick this up at Micro Center. This is probably the machine to go. And if it's not too heavy, or there could be the slim version that is slightly lighter, but I think 4080 is the GPU to get this generation. So keep that in mind when looking for devices to get. And yeah, in terms of Windows and Mac, depending on what you need it to do, this thing has been very good in terms of Teams, WebEx, sharing screen. I used to have a portable monitor. I'm trying to travel lighter now. Sometimes I even use my iPhone with the Duet, which I posted a video earlier on that. So yeah, in terms of like travel tips, travel technology, people who want to have kind of that gaming machine, that powerhouse machine, and are usually always plugged in, this machine combined with iPhone and a nice wired headphones and microphone will be the way to go. So yeah, different style of video, but my take from 1 month review, very happy with the machine. If you could get it at a discount, even better. And yeah, being plugged in most of the time has helped. The screen is nice, 240 FPS, and all the jazz that comes with this RTX 4080. It's been pretty good. So if you guys have any questions on how it's been if you're interested in traveling or have travel questions or interested in the technology, feel free to leave comments below and I'll try my best to answer. See you guys in the next one. Peace.